Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the POV podcast. Happy Black History Month also. Tonight's topic, we'll be discussing blackface and Mayweather's comments towards Gucci. Also, R. Kelly's allegedly new sex tape out. Well, old, new, whatever. We discussing everything right here tonight. POV podcast. Tune in, lock in, and stay strapped in with us. Happy Black History Month again. Boom. Podcast here tonight. First one of the new year. First and foremost, I would like to say happy Black Power Month. And to my forefathers, my ancestors, and all my people out there fighting for equality. We have a good show for you. You know me. No introduction needed. My co-host, no introduction needed. But the ladies, well, we have seen the lovely Keita before. Portia, Mecca, and OG over here. It's my OG. Tonight's topics, we're going to go right into it. We're going to talk Mayweather. So you guys familiar with what happened with Floyd?
I saw it.
I saw his video, yeah.
So basically, you know, they're saying we're boycotting Gucci. Well, T.I. said he's boycotting Gucci for 3 months. He got mad at Mayweather because Mayweather said he's going to do what he wants. He's going to wear what he wants. It doesn't matter to him. He loves everybody.
I agree, but I don't agree. A little bit.
You agree with them? Because, like, I personally believe, just being honest, I don't believe Floyd's wrong. I'm going to tell you why. Because at the end of the day, he's right. He can do what he wants to do.
And he spent money. Like, that stuff is not cheap. Like, you know, so.
No, that's my thing, though, right? A person to tell you, boycott Gucci, right? We're not going to buy Gucci for 3 months. What is that going to do? Gucci not going to lose no money for boycotting Gucci for 3 months. Oh, we're going to take a stand on Gucci. They said 3 months, right? So we don't buy Gucci, but we're going to go to the club and buy at the bar. So you don't want to buy Gucci, but you'll go buy the white man's liquor. You'll go trip with a white woman, but you don't want to buy Gucci because they made a mockery out of us, as they always do.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, we're going to boycott Gucci for 3 months. And then people burn their Gucci. Please, miss me with that. You can burn it all you want because you're going to go back and buy those sneakers again.
Okay, so I like the bigger picture of it. Like, I like the bigger idea of why he's saying it, but I don't. It's like, if I spent this money on it, I'm going to wear it. I already spent the money on it. Like, so, and what the hell, like you said, they've been doing it for so long. Like, it's not nothing new. But I guess because they actually decide to put, like, who was that? Spike Lee, I think it was, who said, he's like, he's not going to buy anything or he's not going to support them until they hire more black workers. So this mistake won't happen.
He don't even work with other black directors. So I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real.
I personally
you have to
like,
be fair.
But I personally feel like a lot of things in the industry, like clothing and everything, love to play with the black community. They don't play with the LGBTQ. They don't play with Jews. They don't play with Chinese. But when it comes to black people, they'll put it out there. And if they get a negative response, then follows the apology. Yeah. Like, it's like they don't play with other groups like that. But when it comes to us, like, they know, like, at the end of the day, they're going to be mad, they're going to say something, but they'll be back. And it's income tax time. Oh, they'll be in there. Somebody going to spend all their money on a Gucci bag. Like, that's what they do.
A big press conference for Gucci worldwide. Only thing we did is just help uplift their brand even more because the world's talking about Gucci. Gucci was trending one day. And you don't have to worry about that. The entertainers not buying it. They can afford it, whether they buy it or not. It's the people who can't afford it that's going to go rush to fill a part to buy it. I understand what T.I. saying, and I really do see his point. But at the end of the day, you can't say, listen, Floyd, you cooling out. Everybody, Floyd cooling out, but y'all buy liquor. Y'all smoke. Y'all go buy cigarettes. So I feel like this. If we're going to boycott anything, boycott everything that's not pro-black.
Right.
Boycott everything that you can't have it both ways. You can't do it when it's convenient for you. Or 3 months is up. We're about to go tear Gucci up at the mall today.
Right.
Boycott. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Don't buy Gucci. Buy everything black. And all that they giving back, you everybody give back with it's a tax write off for that too. So it's good business. So
what was the point that you was?
I was saying it's not necessarily, well, I feel like in my personal opinion, like, I'm upset about the image, but I'm really more upset at my people because it's like, it's not about what they do, it's what we tolerate. So I feel like boycotting for 3 months is doing well. Boycott it, period. Because this is not the first time that any brand has disrespected us as a race. Tommy Hilfiger has done it. Michael Kors has done it. Gucci just hopped in line and did it too. So I don't understand why we're
Most people don't even know what my clear
because
is.
we spend our black dollar
Right.
outside of our black race at 20%
Mm.
plus.
Right.
So why? What are we upset about?
Right.
They're gonna keep doing it because we're gonna keep buying it, and for what? Slaves to, I guess, these fashion designers that have no respect for us because we still buy it because we feel like, oh, we're gonna get appreciated by the rich or the white man, but they're gonna still look at us as a nigger. Excuse my French, but
But no,
that's
it's the
just,
truth.
that's a
And
fact.
it's
No
all
matter
about
what we drive, what
trying
we wear,
it's supposed to
we're
give you
always
all
gonna be looked
validate
at
you
a
as a
certain type
person.
of way.
Excuse me, but
Yeah.
sorry about that. But.
That's just my personal opinion. So if you feel some type of way about Gucci and their black face hoodie, then don't support it, period. Don't support any other
That's my
designer who
thing.
has racial disrespect towards the black race. Because we're spending our money outside of our community, period, for these people to fit in that don't have any respect for us.
Yeah.
That's just...
The guy who made Timberland openly came out and said he don't make Timbs for black people.
Mm-hmm.
So at the
But
end
then
of
they
the
said
day,
that the tree was supposed to be like meant for like lynching or something.
yeah, at the end of the day, all we're gonna like, it really bothers me. People say, you know, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. No, what we need to do is say, listen, we're not spending our money with them no more. Period. That's what we need to say. We're not spending our money with them no more. Period. We're gonna everybody gonna find black owners. We're gonna spend our money with us. That's the only. We can't hurt them no other way. We only can hurt them through economics. We can't hurt them no other way. We only can hurt them with spending our money with us. That's it.
Yeah.
But
We too
3 months later, there'll be a video of the Gucci headband. So
Yeah.
I mean,
shout out to Soulja Boy.
Yeah, with Floyd, when you talk about Floyd, and you know, with Floyd, he don't really see a color aspiration of things, and with him, everything is money.
Right.
If it,
And
it's
they know that though.
With Floyd, it's
And that's,
green.
but I
like,
don't understand
you know
why
what I mean?
people so upset. Like, what do you expect from Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
Like, it's not shocking. Like, that's not news to me because
Yeah.
it's like, what do you expect? You can't put him on a pedestal. He makes it clear of he's the money team. Like he like you
He
said,
don't care about none of
ring. He
money.
don't care about no.
If it ain't green, it ain't black, white, Spanish. It ain't none of that. It ain't no race.
Right.
It's green. That's
the man,
it.
The man set his grandkids up for life, man. You gotta give a man some type of credit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you do, but you also can't put him on a pedestal because he is a successful black man. He cannot be put on that pedestal to help black people or carry. That's not his mentality. That's not where he's at right now. When financially he can be, because the money that you spend in Gucci could have helped somebody build a small business. He could have started his own brand, but he didn't. He didn't choose to do that. So it's like that man chooses to do what he wants with his money, and it's like it's big news. Oh, he's cool. That's just what he do.
Yeah,
that's just him.
Yeah, he's
But
about
also-
himself. Like it's about
Other
whoever
people
he's
that
around him. It's not
You
about.
have an opinion on that, OG?
You have an opinion on it?
Well, I've taken it a lot. But the thing is, you know, we as a culture, as black folks, African Americans, we have to start to value our own selves as a culture. Nothing's ever going to change at all. I mean, we can sit here all day and talk about, you know, what we need to do, how we need to do it, but if we're not putting anything into action to make changes, nothing's gonna happen at all. And it starts with us as a
You
culture.
gotta speak up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. It starts with us as a culture. And if we don't, you know, teach our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, you know, the value of a dollar and the value of who we are, nothing is going to ever change. So it doesn't matter how much money you got. Whether, you know, Floyd Mayweather, you know, he may be cooning. You know, he may just be maybe a publicity stunt. You know, it could be many things as
He
to
keep
why
himself
he's
in that
doing what
limelight.
he's doing. But at the end of the day, for us as a culture, we have to change our way of thinking, the way that we do things, how we treat
Amen,
one
sister.
another.
God bless.
And that's where it ends.
Like I said, I don't agree with what he did, right? But I'm not, you know, like he gonna do what he wanna do. Like, so it's for me to pass judgment on him and say, yo, you shouldn't do that, Floyd, right? But I'm gonna go eat fried chicken.
It's ignorance as well. It's ignorance as well.
I think it's a little ignorant.
You know, and when you have somebody, and this is what I always say, we think just because, let's say for instance, you're an inspiring rapper, artist, entertainer, right? Now, I don't know where you come from, literally and figuratively, but I know you come from the urban area.
Okay.
And what people tend to do, they tend to take the people from the urban areas, from the hood, from the ghetto, and now all of a sudden they're making millions of dollars. Now people expect them to change who they are.
Right.
You can't take a person from the hood and expect him to all of a sudden become this
Humble.
responsible person, you know, that everybody would expect him to be or she to be. No, you're going to get exactly what you get. You got a person from the hood, he's still hood.
Right.
He just got $1 million being hood.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, whoever he has in his camp or who's ever responsible for his manager, you know, well, Shalil, maybe you should tone it down a little bit. Maybe you should do this. You need to have somebody in your corner
Kind of
to
polish
direct
him up.
you,
Yeah,
you know, to make you a better person.
Yeah, kind of polish him up
But it
a
doesn't
little
mean that
bit.
you're going to actually change who you are,
Right.
because who you are is who you are, down in the core. Your hood, the way you talk, the way you walk, that's who you are. And it's not going to change because you have $1 million.
Yeah.
You can fix it up a little bit. You can
Yeah,
get a little bit better.
Fix it up, teeth done, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're still who you are.
So before we switch topics, right? Quick, I'm going to start with you. What is the solution to this problem?
We really have to dig deep within ourselves as a culture. You know, really, we have to start loving each other once again, like we used to. Because I remember a time where women really loved women. I mean, supported black women. We used to all sit in the kitchen together, cook together. You know, grandmama,
Soul
auntie,
food type of
uncle.
stuff.
You know, we were always there for one another. Somewhere along the line, we kind of like lost all of that.
Where do you think that changed then?
I think it changed around in the early 80s.
Crack.
No.
The crack era. Seriously, when homes started being broken up from crack era and everything like that, like it changed a lot in the home, because now you don't have mommy cooking in the kitchen, you have mommy running the streets. You have daddy running the streets. So a lot changed. If that's the time frame that, you know, we're given, that era, like how many kids that was born in 80 something, I was born in 85, really grew up without a parent that was addicted to something? I wasn't. So it's like at the end of the day, the structure of the home was broke down from crack, a whole bunch of things. So of course, like a lot of values, a lot of things was lost, because now you have some kids either trying to raise themselves, or you have family members stepping in and taking that role. Like it's a lot. So that whole dynamic was broken down like a long time ago.
And
What
remember,
about
there
you,
was
Mecca?
Oh, you can.
No, finish.
remember there was grandma, big mama,
Mhm.
aunties,
Mhm.
you know, that
Yeah.
came in and they supported.
Mhm. Each other.
Now
Mhm.
there are no more grandmas, big mamas, and grannies,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
It's still
either they're
aunties.
dead or either they're trying to live
It's a
their
lot of
best
aunties.
lives
And
now.
yeah, because grandma only 30 something.
Yeah, grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma not.
I know a grandma.
Like
20,
grandma.
I know a grandma like
Grandma.
37.
It's grandma, you know, and
Right.
you know, in my mind, I'm not a grandma, I'm a grandmother, and I'm gonna own that, because that's a blessing.
Absolutely.
You know,
Sister,
I love my
no, I'm gonna own my uncleness too. Like, what about you?
I feel like I don't know exactly what the solution is, but I'll just say this: we just have to stop supporting blatant designers and races that don't support us. Period. It's really not a theory to it. It's not a thesis. These people are blatantly disrespecting us as a race. Stop spending your money and supporting them. Period. It's really not nothing
That's
that
what
we
I'm
have to
talking
like
about.
stand up and be together. We shall overcome. It's
Right.
period. Spend your money in your own community. Build your own community so that we can like get Black Wall Street going. That's
Let me
all.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask you a
Talk to
question.
me.
How can we do that when we don't own nothing?
But the question is
I'm just-
why?
Right,
The question is
right.
why don't we
Let
own
me just say,
anything?
Talk to him. Jim.
how can we get to that place when we rely on every other culture that comes into our community, which there is no more community anymore? If you think about it, our community is made up of every other culture with their business in our community.
It's a fact.
I'll
Chinese
tell you why
store,
though.
God
all that.
forbid, if these people, if these vendors just decide where they just wake up one morning and say, you know what, F the community, the Black community, we're not going to open up no business. We're not going to do this. Where will we go to eat?
That's so right.
Swim straps.
Where will we go to buy our clothing?
I'm gonna tell you why though.
When do we
A big-
start? We gotta
A big
start
part of this,
somewhere.
we are-
Take
we are the
baby steps.
only race that systematically deny. They'll give you a loan for a car. They'll give you a loan for school, but they won't give you a loan to be a homeowner. They won't give you a small business loan. We are systematically denied. We are the only people that are what they're doing to us is putting us in debt purposely. You got good credit here. Take the American Express Gold Card. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
You good? Take it.
Mhm.
Get this nigga. He pays his bills on time. Give him a even larger limit.
Right.
We're gonna get him somewhere down the line,
Because
and they always do.
we're trained and programmed to just do what we have been doing all our lives. It's just looking good, feeling good, smelling good.
But see, that wasn't.
We're not doing anything because a lot of us don't want the responsibility. To be honest with you,
we used to own a lot. We used to have it on lock. What happens is this: they came in, they bombed it. You know what I'm saying? They moved. Listen, think about what's happening now. Oh, cool. Okay, they gave you a little New Jersey. The minimum wage is up. Yeah,
right.
but so did inflation hit.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you making $15 an hour. Yeah, your rent is $2,500.
Right.
So
Right.
you might as well
Right.
and what niggas gonna do? We gonna pack your
but
bags
look
up,
at the fact that
getting on the car, and going back
when we
outside.
have
Back
black
that right.
businesses, when we have black businesses in our communities, most of them are fronts.
Right.
Facts. That's a fact.
No, that's true.
That's a fact.
That's
No, they
fucked
are.
up.
They, right.
But you know, I
Dr.
wasn't.
Green
Remember
Man.
when Kanye West said that like slavery is a choice? I wasn't mad.
Ludicrous.
I wasn't
That
mad
was-
at him.
yeah, that
Honestly,
was-
I wasn't mad
that
at
was-
him because he said that. Because back then, yes, slavery may have been a choice, but in today's world, slavery is not that. Back then, it may not have been a choice, but in today, excuse me, let me correct myself. Back then, it may not have been a choice, but in today's world, it's still a choice because mentally, we are still enslaved. We do think the reason why Chinese, the bodega stores, all those, is because we are too dumb. We don't know how to come together and have a business.
No.
We don't know how to. Everybody's out for self. Who's going to be better than this
Crabs in
person?
the barrel.
Exactly.
I understand, but you
So
gotta
that's
understand
why
the why,
I
sis.
understand.
You gotta understand the why.
I
This
understand
is
the why, but
500
when are we
years
gonna-
of plus of programming.
So
You know how
when
hard
are
it
we
is?
going to fix? We know this though. We understand that we are
All right,
programmed.
let me ask you a
So
question.
when
Watch
are we going to fix
I
that
think we're-
Watch
programming?
this. Let's say this.
Really
Let's say a
don't.
man. Let's say a man.
Definitely.
Let's say a man rapes a woman for 364 days a year,
Okay.
and then on the 365th day, say, "Yo, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All I did to you, it was wrong. I'm sorry." What is she gonna do? Her whole life wrapped around being raped every single day.
But at
So
the end
now
of
when
the-
she's
that's
free,
true.
now
You
I'm
said
free. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I need to go and live somewhere else. This man been feeding me. The government. This is what it is. The government been feeding me. He been giving me housing.
Okay.
You know
So
what I'm
now I
So
understand
now
that, right?
he take it away. I'm looking like, so that's some master, please. I just need to come back and see yo. I don't know what to do.
I completely understand that. I
Malcolm
understand
X talked
exactly
about
where
that.
you're coming
We
from,
don't
right?
know what to do.
But forever, we're going to always have this mentality of we have a victim and we have a prosecutor or a persecutor.
I like that.
We're going to always have that mentality. And as long as we have that mentality, there will always be, we will always feel like someone did us wrong. So granted.
No, it's
No.
not feeling so.
This
is
They
real.
did us wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
so,
did us
But I
wrong.
do see your
so
point,
we,
though.
okay, right.
It's
So we
wrong.
know that we have been done wrong, but we
Yes.
also know that in order to change this mentality, we're always going to be giving them that energy that they know that we're going to feed off.
But
Okay,
this goes back to what I said. We as a unit, as a culture, we have to come together and we have to exclude and
That's
stop
the
thinking
only
about
way.
what everybody
that's the
else
only
is
way.
thinking.
That's the
We
only way
have to
to
come
divide
together
it.
as a culture, and we have to know when to close our mouths.
Yeah, because
We don't need to go and let everybody know what
everybody,
we're
yeah,
doing.
everybody can't be a part of this. I'm sorry,
We have to
everybody
let
person can't be a
everybody
part
know
of
what we're
this. That's what's
doing.
going on.
Because they not
We
letting
can
us
sit,
know
we're
what's
Alright.
sitting
going
here
on.
now and
Nah.
talking.
What it is though, I understand everybody passionate about this topic, but we gotta get to the next subject,
Okay.
the next topic. So we just gonna end it with that one right there. You know what I mean? On
God
that
bless.
note.
I'm gonna
So
say
we
stick
gotta
together, spin off black. You know what I'm saying? Catch me at the grocery store. Well, listen, next topic.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about R. Kelly got a new sex tape out,
Oh,
allegedly.
God.
Wait. My question is this a new sex tape or is it one of the
No.
old ones that
It's
resurfaced?
one of the
That
old ones.
surfaced?
It's one of the old ones.
Because
It's
I
not.
didn't
It's
even
not
know
brand
anything
Is
new.
it
about
clear?
Okay.
Is it clear
Yeah,
R.
I
Kelly?
didn't even know
It's
anything about
definitely
it.
clear him. It's definitely
It was
clear
clear
him.
him and it was clear him.
You
with
don't
the
know
other
that.
ones.
That was his brother.
That-
Wait.
Oh, my
All right.
God.
So what? So
I saw that
All
tape.
right. So I'm gonna touch bases first on the R. Kelly situation, right?
Yeah,
Now,
well,
let's make this. I want to make this real live and clear
R. Kelly.
and understood. In no way, shape, or form do I agree with him. Do I think he's right or any of that? In no way, shape, or form. But what I am going to say is, it's not all on him. It's
Absolutely.
It's not all on
It's
him.
not.
No.
You're not going to tell me that these parents wasn't selling their kids to him.
But not even
You're
the
not-
parents, the people around him.
The people around him, the parents, there's no way you're not going to tell me that you sent your 12-year-old, your 15-year-old with R. Kelly, and he spent 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6
Alone.
months alone with your child. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
But no,
And
they,
then-
no doors were locked. He didn't
On
hold
top-
anybody hostage.
On top of that, you got to remember, all this was going back on in the 90s. So he paying everybody hush money. Oh, if you have my child, da, da, da. All right, well now I'm gonna sue you. All right, well what you need? Give me $50,000. Give me $100,000. Cash. These are all settlements. Money that he's dishing out. You understand what I'm saying? So people are looking at him as like, oh, all I gotta do is sell my child to R. Kelly, and I can get $100,000. You gotta remember. $100,000 back in the 90s, you thought you was rich. $100,000
right now.
$100,000 right now is nice.
Right.
But imagine
$100,000
back in 92, 95.
Remind me of a Jeep already.
Yeah,
I mean, that is true because the girl that they said was in the tape, the one that everybody saw, her family still isn't saying nothing. They still haven't confirmed or denied anything. Right, she's the only one from her family that's speaking out. Her mother and her father never said anything. Neither did the girl. So it could be a thing where it is hush money. But you have to blame, if you blame him, you have to blame everybody around him. The people that was booking hotel rooms, sitting, like, how could you do something like that?
It ain't no if, no doubts about it was hush money. It was absolutely hush money.
And
without
I feel
a doubt.
Like, too, the people that are getting left out are the victims. Like, nobody's talking about the kids, how their life has been changed and impacted through all the stuff that's been going on. They got parents who obviously don't care about them or put finance or money over them. And then you got R. Kelly, who's this predator that's preying on these young kids, and they thinking that it's normal. So now they coming out and talking about it, and people saying, "Oh, why you wait 15 years? Why? If you never been a victim, you can't speak on why it took that person so long to come out and speak on something like that." So I feel like they're attacking these people and saying like, "Hey, you 35 years old, and now you just now talking about it." And it's like, well, maybe they thought that was something that was normal, okay, because they've been. You know,
because if you never had vanilla ice cream, how you gonna know what it tastes like?
Right.
I kind of get.
My thought on Kelly is this. I'm gonna make this very clear because this is very touchy. I don't agree with what he did. I do believe that R. Kelly is wrong. However, what about R. Kelly? This you don't understand. R. Kelly was molested.
Right, hurt people
so
all the time.
What about R. Kelly? Who was there to nurture him through his his abuse? This man, you don't understand. This man is really sick. R. Kelly's sick.
But at the end of the day,
he believed that this behavior is normal because he's sick. We're dealing with mental health issues here. Hold on. This thing go bigger than R. Kelly with them girls. This started when R. Kelly was a little boy being fondled with, being molested, injury in the anal as a boy. This is what happened. He believed this behavior is normal. He's a victim. So now I'm grown. I have this money. I've been hurt before. I'm never going to feel this feeling anymore. But everybody said, R. Kelly is a predator. No, he was preyed upon.
Right, but at the end of the day, because he was
everybody can't talk at the same time.
It's not a pointing fingers matter. It's kind of like, what are we going to do to
we need a solution.
To make it better.
He's sick mentally. Pedophiles, a lot of them have been. They really sick mentally. Where I work with them. I see how they look at other men.
Right.
They're mentally sick.
Yeah.
Like I don't think R. Kelly is operating his right stage of mind frame. He's not. He's sick. He believed that he hovers around little girls. That's sick.
I understand what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But because he's sick, does that mean that he shouldn't face any consequences?
No, that doesn't mean that. What I'm saying is just because something is wrong, doesn't mean it can't be understood.
No, I understand what that makes sense.
Is he wrong? Yes, absolutely.
Right.
R. Kelly is wrong. And I love his music, keep it real. But at the end of the day, the man is mentally sick. And like the sister Mecca said, what about those victims? They have been hushed for so long, they don't know if anybody cares about them. You know how you feel? I know people who was touched, who was going through things, couldn't say anything because I'm young, I'm a kid. I might be made fun of. I'm gonna be embarrassed. Ain't nobody gonna believe me. A girl told me one day her uncle used to make her suck his thing every day. I said, you tell your mother? I was scared she wouldn't believe me.
You know what's so crazy? You know what's one of the main rules? You know one of the main rules that was like a blessing and a curse in the household, and I think everybody grew up with this rule, was what happens in my house stays inside my house. And that rule allowed a lot of different things to happen in a household because you could not. Let me tell you, that rule even helped a lot of people. Diapers staying out of a lot of people's households. Let me tell you.
That's a good point.
No, seriously, like that rule was like the crazy because that allowed a lot of abuse to happen in the household with rapes and stuff like that. And you not wanting to go tell somebody, even if you feel felt like you couldn't tell your mother.
As
You
a
had that
girl.
teacher who you felt really comfortable with, but you knew you couldn't tell your parents' business because you would get your behind whooped for telling you what's going on in your mother's
You're right.
household.
It's so
Right,
many.
you're
It's
right
so,
about that.
it's so
Right.
many. It's so many kids right now as we speak, and it's sad because it hurts. There's so many kids right now as we speak is laying down in 3, 4 in the morning. Somebody cracking it open the door. Older cousin, older brother cracking the door open, fondling with you. So these people are really sick. This is mental health.
Yeah, no, mental health is real.
These people is really wholeheartedly crazy. I'm not even cursing. People are crazy because you think that what you're doing is okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's no different from a man jerking off at work at his office. He's sick.
But it's their normacy. Like that's
Yeah,
what they
that's
think
their-
is
yeah,
normal.
that's
That's
their
what they
normal,
think
yeah.
is, like you said, like
And that's what
mental
makes
health,
sense.
because that's their normal.
But so now the solution for that, what is that solution? Like, what is the solution for that? Because he knows, the world is telling him this is wrong, and his mind knows it's not wrong. But at some point, he knew from a child when these things were happening to him that it was wrong. Although at one point, even though it happened for so long, and he probably became his normal, as she said. But when it first initially happened to him, did he know that was wrong?
He knew it was wrong. He paid the people hush money.
No, I'm saying like as a,
Would you keep
no,
it
as a
quiet?
kid, no, I'm saying like as a kid.
So then that's when you go get help. Now that's what
But
my
listen,
point
as
is
a
saying
kid,
that
right?
it's like now you go get help.
As a kid, when it's happening to you, right, and nothing's being done. As a kid, you weren't really starting to believe that this is how it works. This is how it goes. Like
I could get that in some, not on that same level, but I can feel something in another aspect.
As a kid, I can feel something is wrong, but if I see it every single day, like as a kid, promise you, at all baby parties, cookouts, it always turns into adult functions, right?
Right.
That's why times play out. It all turns into adult functions. So everything we do now, my daughter having a party. Okay, the kids play, everybody get drunk. That's not a normal life, but that became black culture.
Right.
But babe, I have a question though, because if that's the case and these people feel like, it's normal, then why are these kids depressed? Why are they committing suicide? Why do they have all these anxieties? Yeah, because if they felt like this is normal, then why are they killing themselves?
No, listen, I'm gonna tell you
we're not taught love. We're not being taught love in the
The
house.
victims-
Obviously,
Like,
they
this
know
one-
that whatever's happening to them is wrong because
Right.
it makes them feel a certain way. They don't want to
what
speak
it
out
is?
about it.
Like to this point, I do think it's the love, right? It's not that I don't know. She don't know, he or she don't know that it's wrong, right? I think they committed suicide because, like, you know what? This is happening to me. I have nobody to tell.
Right.
I have nobody to go
That
to.
is
I
right.
have
That's
nobody.
exactly why.
I don't want to live no more. I don't have no friends.
Not only that, they grown up to realize, like, yo, my parents sold me to this man. You understand what I'm saying? So they start to realize, when you're young, you can get over it. Your parents,
because you feel like your parents got your best interest at
You
heart.
think your parents got your best interest. You feel like you can sweep little things under the rug, or you think you can have little conversations. But as you grow older, you be like, damn, like, mommy said that she was holding my money. I never seen that money before.
I never saw that.
It's a lot of times. Mama Kim, I need that money. Mama Kim, please.
I never got that money.
Give us some mama and hold it for you.
Or we about to go with X, Y, to Z. Da, 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 da. Oh, I never seen that money. Or dang, like
trust be lost.
Like
trust
dang,
is
like
gone.
yeah. So now the trust is gone.
Yeah.
Now, if you feel like you can't trust your parents, who do you feel like you can trust?
And that one friend you got.
I mean, the first time that you feel like somebody has mistreated, the first time I know one of them ladies, the first time that they felt like this man mistreated them in any type of way, the first thing they thought was their parents, their mother, there's somebody who's close to them to save them, like to help them. You know what I mean? And then if they are no longer there, then what? Like what?
But kids are taught that though. Because you have to teach them and groom them that they can come to you and talk to you. Even though you're an adult. Like, I groomed my son at an early age. You tell me everything. Nobody can't do X, Y, and Z. But maybe those kids weren't taught that way. So, if my parent leave me with an adult, like, okay, my parent must trust them, so I can trust them too. So, if you touching me, maybe this is right because I trust you.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. But when you realize, when you feel like that's what I mean by that. Like, so when they first feel like, all right, this is absolutely wrong. Like, I don't like the way I'm being treated at this moment. I think one of the ladies was saying something about like she went in with knowing that she wasn't going to be the only woman, but she still went with it. And I think once she realized like she wasn't going to get that only treatment, like he wasn't going to only treat her a certain type of way, and he started doing to her what he was doing to the other woman, she felt like she wanted to leave. So like in that moment of you not being treated well, like where do you revert back to? Like you know what I mean? Like
one thing we forget before I send the questions to OG, because this is how we really want to end it with the OG.
No, please.
One thing we did not mention, we failed to mention is that, now let's be real here, right? R. Kelly's sick, but he's highly intelligent.
Right.
So he knows the power of manipulation.
Right.
So it's no different than a man 29 dating a girl 22.
No, that's real.
Because the older
I
women,
can manipulate her for her. I can mold her to my liking
So what I
by
want-
making her believe
Absolutely.
what we're doing here. Baby, listen, you my number one. I just do other girls on the weekend. But she's 19 years old, 22.
Right.
She don't know.
and a lot of the older women that spoke on a documentary were women who came from like a broken home. Like something wasn't right. So he knew who to prey on. So he has some type of sense.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. They probably didn't think this man was sick.
Yeah.
No, ain't no
trying to
grown
tell
ass
you.
man posted up at us.
Oh no.
every-
I
But
knew
if
older
they do,
people
right,
who
but if
opened
they
up
do-
at that school, waiting for them ninth graders to come outside.
Right, but that means what? Something is wrong. Somebody should say something.
Why-
If you was a teacher,
People
at
were saying
school-
something.
if you was a teacher at that school,
People
you
were
would
saying
say
something.
People were saying
People were saying something. She was getting in that crowd.
But look, when you're a freshman and that 21-year-old, 22 come on, baby, get in that car. Let me get your nails done. You're like, oh, I want to get my nails
I mean,
done.
don't get me wrong. I mean, I was a high schooler.
So don't
and
know.
So what's that you though? Were you one of those?
I didn't have sex with him though.
I didn't ask you that.
I was one of them.
entertained them.
No, I
You
was one of
entertained
them. I did get in. If I needed
And
one,
you
I got
could
it.
have got him locked up. You could have got that man locked
So
up.
watch this. So why didn't you say something?
Because it was convenient.
Because it was
getting
convenient,
announced
right?
done. Goddamn R. Kelly.
So it's the same thing. You
OG,
understand what I'm saying? Like,
what's
it's
the
the
take
same
on OG?
thing.
Take us home. Third base. Base is loaded. Take us home, please.
What's your opinion on it?
Okay, so we're talking about R. Kelly and his behavior, or
All the above.
He's sick.
well, one thing that I thought about, and I had to straddle the fence about it, but nobody ever considered the fact. Now, I didn't know that he was actually sexually molested
By his family.
by his family member. But the thing is, once you just think about it. And I hear people, everybody say all the time, he's an adult, she's an adult, we grown. Just because you're a big person and you're over 18, you're over 21, doesn't make you an adult, and it doesn't make you grown. You can be 36 and have the mentality of a 6-year-old.
Fact.
Please say it one more time.
Fact.
They heard me.
Well, you got a little fancy on you.
I think so.
And that's the truth, You have to think of it from every angle. You just can't be biased and say, okay, he's guilty, she's guilty. There's a lot of stuff, like I said, there's always some gray area.
Right.
Right.
Everything is not black and white.
Right.
You have to go deep into it.
Yeah.
And in my mind, just based on, just what I've heard and what I've seen, R. Kelly has the mind of a child. That's why he preyed on children, because he's still a child.
Now, when you say a child, what exactly do you mean by that?
Okay. In other words, he's not a grown man.
He's
He's not an adult.
He can't
He's
make
a big
adult
person. He's a
decisions.
big person with a
Period.
child. He has all of the. And I used to say this about my daughter. My daughter's 34. She's a grown woman, but she's in size. And she's mature. But I'm just saying, I'm using an example. Sometimes we tend to be big, but we're really small.
Okay.
In other words, so what you would do as a 22-year-old man, people would think you would do as a 22-year-old man. In your mind, you're struggling because you don't know how to respond like a 22-year-old man. You're responding like a 12-year-old boy, but you got to put on a facade because now in your mind trying to figure out how you're going to do this.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Right.
You don't know how to do it.
Said Michael Jackson.
So you're struggling with
He definitely
the childlike mind and being an adult.
Yeah, especially
It's
if you have to
difficult.
grow, especially if you have to grow up. Like if you have to do certain things, if you never had that childhood, you have to grow up and be an adult faster than you have to, or have to do certain
And
things.
parents gotta stop doing that. They strip kids of their
Yeah,
childhood.
like that.
But you
like,
know,
it makes
and you said
you
parents.
go back sometimes. You can be a little
You said
childish.
parents.
That's all set
But
up,
some of the
though.
parents are
There
big
are
people.
you have to realize, and I'm gonna straddle the fence on this too. Just because you're a person with a child doesn't make you a parent.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad I'm sitting next to
There are a
you.
lot of people, and most people are just having, you just have people with kids.
Talk about it.
They're not parents.
Yeah.
So how do you expect them to school these babies that they're raising?
Because it's babies raising babies, right, OJ?
Right.
They're raising
And
themselves.
everybody's trying to be a friend. Like you don't need to be you
And
can
you
be
have to understand-
your child's friend, but not all the time.
You
Like
have to
be that
understand
parent.
when you have, as a woman, you know, you're a single parent, and women are the value of women have, you know, devalued.
Oh my
a
God,
lot.
so
That's
And I
another
don't need
topic.
to offend
So
anyone.
easy.
I really don't need to offend
Oh my God.
women, but our values have been diminished on so many levels.
Facts.
Yeah.
But it's not even only the black man either. It's the other women. It's women.
It's women,
Women,
period.
yeah.
Right? It's women,
we
period.
we teach men how to treat us. It's not even a man. He's only
That's
gonna
factual.
do, but we teach you how to treat us,
Mhm.
and not meaning by we're gonna tell you what to do or whatever. It's how we communicate with you in order
And
for
what
you
we
to
accept.
understand and what we accept. In order, I did a self-love journey, y'all, and it was like the best and the most hurting thing in the world that I ever did. I had to take it way back to childhood
You gotta
and
dig.
everything like that.
You
But
gotta
I
dig.
needed
What
that.
y'all says?
You gotta dig.
But I needed that. Like, you get what I mean? I really needed to do that because it put me in a place where as though I it's not that I didn't know my value. I just wasn't showing, I wasn't acting accordingly. Like, you get what I mean? And I needed to do that in order to teach and show this is how you have to treat me. If I'm going to do this for myself, then you need to be doing this plus. You know what I mean? And my way of teaching you doesn't have to me being aggressive and have to me telling, oh, yo, you gotta do this, or if you want to fuck with me, you gotta be this certain type of way. No, I'm going to communicate that to you. If you don't respond, I'm going to remove myself from the
And
situation.
you're going to tell him what? Adios.
I feel
That's
like
it.
that's a generational curse too, because a lot of times when we grow up, we do what we see. So if our grandmother, let's say, wasn't treated right by her husband and your mom wasn't treated right, you don't know like your values until you go through self experiences. Like everybody has to go through heartbreak to know like, okay, that didn't make my heart feel good. I need to try something else.
Right.
So, but if I see my mom tolerating certain stuff, I might think like, okay, well, this
That's
is my
normal
mom.
behavior.
This might be normal. So a lot of times, like we have to hold our parents or whoever we have our kids around accountable for what our kids are.
Because
soaking
kids
up,
are only going to emulate
you
what
know,
they see.
What they see,
Right?
exactly.
That's-
I never
So
saw
if you
healthy
don't have good
relationship. I didn't even know
examples,
what a
they're not
healthy
gonna
relationship was.
And that's where that comes up, that you are not your child's only influence.
Yeah.
Right.
All the other, remember that village that used to raise children?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist anymore. Because I can't come to you and tell your child, you know, back in the day, you'll be able to say, you know what, Jaleesa, whatever, you know, you sit down until your mother come home. And then she would be she would respect you and respond accordingly. Yes, ma'am, or so forth and so on. Nowadays, you don't get that.
Oh,
Right.
The child, the parent is going to come in defense of the child.
Right.
Or, you know, don't talk to my kid, you know. You used to be able to say, you know, well, have a seat, don't talk like that. Pull your pants up, you know, don't say that. Don't use that language.
It
You
took
know.
a village.
But,
yeah.
but is it not like
Exactly,
that?
yeah.
Is it no longer a village because people are raping and molesting children anymore? Or is it because we got babies raising babies?
It's a combination of both.
Oh, but wait though, let's not forget the fact that we only think about ourselves now. We don't
Like I think the issue is because like we talking about R. Kelly, but raping was going on for a long
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
So even
It was from the beginning of the time.
even when we start talking
Elvis
about
had a young wife.
yeah, like
young wife,
even
all
when
this-
we start talking about like
Members
the
of the
villages and all that other stuff, like it was a village, but people was being hurt and attacked inside the village.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like
true.
and that, you know,
It was
and- and-
infiltrated.
So it was-
it's good that
it
you
was
said that
infiltrated.
because, like the saying is true. There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
And you're right. They were raping. There was homosexuality. There were muggings and killings. But it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, that is true.
What was it like it is now, or was it more, or was it just as visible as it is now?
No, it's
Because
not-
everything
it was
now
hitting.
is like
It was
definitely hitting.
everything.
When I
It was
said
hitting
it's
colors back
When
then.
I
Definitely
said
hitting,
when
yeah.
I said that it's not like it is now, okay, now we turn on the TV, it's everyday news.
Yeah.
But that's my whole point. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
everyday news.
What-
Case in point, if you was to call me right now and say, well, I'm not going to use that. I want to use that. Okay, I'm going to go back. Rewind. If you get a phone call today about somebody saying, oh, Miss Robinson, did you know so-and-so died? You know, there's not a shock anymore.
No, it's no shock.
No
And
shock.
no
not,
shock.
only and not only that, it's not a shock. Once you, now whatever you was doing prior to that phone conversation, maybe you've been smoking a blunt, you know, cooking your dinner, you know, or whatever. You know, okay, all right, then I'll talk to you later.
That's it.
It's nothing.
The-
It's back.
the
It's
humanity-
laughing.
The humanity is kind of gone.
Exactly.
The humanity is gone.
Yeah,
We desensitized
the
now.
humanity is gone.
Yeah.
But the issue is now I can prove everything that was going on back then.
Yeah.
So back then, oh, I raped you. It's my word against your word. It's not no DNA test. Nobody recorded you.
Mhm.
Nobody did anything. So now it's just like, oh, it happened. It happened. I got no way. I got no way to prove it. You understand what I'm saying?
And
So now,
even though I know where you're going at, it still doesn't matter.
I think it matters.
Not really, because they're still locking you up with proof or not. They're still killing you on the street. They're killing you.
But
They're killing us on the street, broad daylight in front of everybody.
But that's two different aspects.
It's a new
though.
way of slavery
You
now.
switched it from. That's two different aspects. You switched it from the village to them killing you on camera. That's two different things.
No, I said there's no village anymore. There's no more village.
And I'm saying
The village is burned down.
there is no more village. But but why is the reason that there is no more village?
Because how things have progressed. It's not like it was back in the day. Things have changed.
A lot.
You
Has it
were
changed
offering,
for the
you,
better?
you were offering grandma some weed. Not saying you per se. We offering grandma weed right now. Grandma having sex with your boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
because
it's-
grandma only 40.
But I'm saying things have changed. No, you got some 6-year-olds got a boyfriend 20 years old.
And that Marlo.
This is what I'm saying.
Every
I think that stuff
Yeah.
been happening though.
Every
I feel like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
been
yeah.
happening.
Hold
I
on,
feel
time
like
out,
that
time
been
out.
happening.
That
I
been
feel like that's
happening.
nothing
No,
new.
wait a minute. Now, I would say between the 5-10 year, ain't no 20 and 30 year. That wouldn't have no 20-30 year. Grandma at 60 and 70 wasn't dating no 20-year-old.
No.
So-
we ain't had-
We always had
Probably 30. Probably
Yeah,
30.
we always had cougarism.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was about to
Cougarism is
Yeah, we
real.
always had cougarism, but it wasn't. Now we taking it to a whole nother level. Grandma wasn't sleeping with your boy.
How do I know?
No, but if you see, things were a little bit more discreet. Things are not discreet anymore.
That's what I'm
Everything's open
saying.
up in your face.
Right.
That's my whole point. So how do I know back then grandma wasn't sleeping with
She was, but
with
it
Billy
wasn't-
Bob?
But it wasn't. It was.
So
maybe 5
basically,
years, 6 years. It wasn't like it is
back
now.
then, it was more private.
More private.
So
yeah.
a lot was done in the dark. So grandma would say, "Hey, these are my grandkids," and then
You shacking up.
Okay,
Come
case in
back
point. You
there.
see this young lady right here? This lady right here, okay?
Yeah.
And then you have me right here. Okay, I'm your wife. Okay, we have children together, right? Now, back in the day, I'm Miss Robinson. You're my husband. We have a family. Here it is, Miss Jones. She lives around the corner. She has 2 children by you. But there was a mutual respect back then.
It was different.
It was a mutual respect. I knew about Miss
See why
Jones.
you the
Miss
OG.
Jones knew about me. But I never went over to fight Miss Jones.
Right.
Miss Jones knew better to come over and try to fight me.
because the man
But-
was laying the
no,
pipe
but-
to both of
no,
y'all.
That's true.
Wait,
Respect.
let me finish. Because there was a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
the
no respect.
females don't have no filter.
No.
They don't have no filter, but the man is messy too. Cause the Mr. whoever
They've always
he
been
is,
messy. They've always
Mr.
been
whoever
messy.
he is,
Mhm.
he was taking care of your household, of course, cause you was the wife.
And
But he
Miss
was
Jones.
doing what he was supposed to do over
Absolutely,
here too.
absolutely.
So therefore, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna knock on her door because my son got what he needs. If I'm short on a bill, you got me. And
better get
you're
it.
not gonna say nothing to him because the bills is paid, it's food in the house, and he's taking care of your kids too.
Mhm.
These men nowadays want to plant seeds here,
And they're not good gardeners.
And absolutely, they're not good gardeners, and they're not doing what they're
They're not good
supposed to.
farmers.
So, like you said,
They take care of
everything
the
has
farm.
changed. Respect has changed.
But the
Everything
thing is,
changed.
But with that being said, too, you gotta hold the women accountable because it's not like we don't know the type of guy that he is before we even let him
Amen.
see
Right.
us.
No, y'all know the warning.
Right.
No,
Y'all know the
that
warning,
is
but
definitely-
you know, yo, I'm be real to y'all defense as women. They do switch the topic, but to y'all defense as women, and just from me just growing and developing into a man, right?
Mhm. What did you just say?
Developing.
Develop it. Right.
Development to a man. Let me just say this before I forget. You have to realize also, just because, and this goes back to what I said, we have a lot of boys occupying men's bodies.
Talk about it.
That's different
So
from that.
many.
There were men back in the day. There are not a lot of men today.
Facts.
And what I mean by that,
Mhm.
men that are providing,
Oh,
protecting,
yeah.
and taking care of the household.
Yeah.
You have men today that will be in a relationship with this lady right here and take care of her kids and don't give a damn about his own.
Facts.
Um,
That yes.
But
That's
see,
a
but
fact.
see your point. But see your point. I'm gonna answer it quick. He's not a man. Now I'm gonna go back to my
This is
point.
what I'm
That's
saying.
what she said.
You got boys occupying what
It's no
is
because
considered to be a man's figure, and it's not a man.
Right.
I'm be real with you, right? So this is
to the lady's defense, right? It's not that you guys don't know, who the man is. It's that when
We know who you are.
yeah, but it's more than anything. A lot of men hide it until they get what they want, because what happens is a woman will tell you how to have sex with her through conversation. You ask her what type of men you like.
That's why I don't answer that question.
We don't ask those
I don't
questions.
answer
No. Men ask those questions.
I don't.
Men ask those questions. Men ask questions. So at the end of the day, it's easy.
It's so funny you said that.
It's easy to be somebody you're not, to get what you want.
But you know something?
But men, hold on real quick. Men don't do that.
Lies.
See, boys do that. Men don't do that. You gotta understand. You gotta understand it too.
Right.
A boy will be like, "Yo, okay, you like that? Okay, it's like New Jordans. That's nothing. I can do that." You know what I'm saying? But he's a sleazeball. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Men get right to the source of the essence. Listen, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm trying to do with you. I'm trying to build. This is what we're doing. If you want what I want, we have a mutual understanding. If not, let's quit.
And then some women, wait a minute, and some women are shocked.
No,
some women are shocked when they hear that from a man because they be like, you know what?
I'm gonna tell you why they shocked.
I
I'm
love
gonna tell you why
it.
they shocked. Women are shocked because those type of men are considered corny.
No,
Because,
no,
because,
no,
hold on, not all.
Yes, they are.
I'm not saying
They
all
are.
women.
They
I'm
are.
just saying those type
They
of
are.
when you come to a woman, point. You come, first of all,
Straight up.
as men, we wasn't even taught to show emotion. So you come
Right.
to her, you being emotional. Listen, I really spend the rest of my life with you. I want to make this work with
Yeah.
you.
And I feel like that.
Now you like make it. Oh, like
Yeah.
this nigga.
Yeah.
Oh, what they say? G. Oh, he got bad game.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, that's
No.
the difference between a girl and a woman. Because a
absolutely.
woman gonna respect you coming like that.
Boy,
And
they
she
will
will
never give you some
It's
ass.
not even just the
She gonna
woman.
respect you.
But not even just a woman. When you start to understand yourself as a woman, then you don't, and you start to love yourself. When a guy come at you like that, you can understand, you can respect that. You're not gonna
Right.
think he's corny because it's pointless in thinking he's a man who's coming at you like that. It's
One
not
thing,
that he's
listen,
corny.
one thing I
Or you done
learned.
been beat down so long when he come, you be like,
Yeah,
alright. You know,
Yeah, that's it.
you know,
But see, even,
I got
even,
friends.
You don't
even,
believe it. You know, you're kind of like in denial. Be like, you know what? You're just lying. You say anything.
You know
And a
what?
lot of
And it's
women,
sad.
they hate.
It's really
A lot of
sad.
women too, they hate different. They hate different.
Oh,
They
no.
like if you so like growing up
I love it,
growing up in a
yeah,
certain
like, I'm
growing
just
up
like-
growing up in a certain area
Mhm.
in the ghetto, right?
Mhm.
I realized the reason why us as men fell in love with hoes. They always comfort us. They always comfort us. They comfort your insecure. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, no, I'm about to be real. They comfort you. Like when you down and out, they're like, all right, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Hold
lie.
on, hold on, wait. Y'all gotta see the point. You can't be defensive. You gotta see the point. Listen, when I say this, they make you feel. Now you can be a piece of type of dude, but the hoe gonna make you feel whole. I'm gonna tell you why, and it's wrong, but I'm gonna tell you why she do it. Because no one would accept her for being her neither.
You know why? Because she's just like
You
you.
feel what I'm saying?
The whore,
So I understand that.
according to you, whore or B is just like the dude. She's like, she got a dude mentality. I read a book. I don't know if you. It's a book called Why Do Men Love Bitches.
I
read
love that
that.
book by
I read
Cheryl. I forget her last name.
Yeah,
but
and
I
the
love
thing-
that book.
Cheryl gotta stop the hating.
Why do
Cheryl giving up too much
why
game
do
out
men
here.
love bitches?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it gives you the dynamic to break it down. And basically, just to summarize it, is because bitches don't really give a damn. They just like the dudes. They don't really care. They have that nigga mentality. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
You like that mentality.
Because you talk about a book, so it's all right.
Yeah. So they have that mentality. So, you know, when you have a guy and you have a girl that's wholesome and, you know, she's a homemaker, you know, family oriented,
good on paper girl.
we're considered corny
The good old paper
or
girl.
needy.
Thank you.
No,
Absolutely.
it's not.
Absolutely.
No,
Or
it's not.
boring. Or boring.
No.
And the
No.
hoe, but the
That's
hoes
the
that
good
you,
old paper girl.
but Shalil, the hoes that
Y'all
you
are-
speak
I'm
of
touching
is the reason why men or boys stay boys and are not trying to be men, because they have those hoes catering to their insecurities and making them feel like what they're doing is okay,
That's
and she's
right.
not pushing him
Why
to his
Hold on,
full
hold on.
potential.
No,
why-
So
men-
that's why that's your
both?
comfort
So
zone.
why-
Men
can't you
stay
let the
men
women be
stay
both,
boys.
though?
Men stay boys because they are afraid of accountability. They are afraid of responsibility, and they are afraid to show emotion.
But
That's
you-
why men
You
stay
said the
boys.
hoes hold the
But
women
you
down,
said-
but you have a lot of good women out there who hold men down.
No, see, you
Through
missed
the
my point. No,
transition of growing from a man to a boy when they still don't get it right, still don't get it right,
Listen.
still don't get it right.
Yo,
So we get cheated on, we get treated like crap, and then y'all go right to the hoes who just do whatever. She could be doing the same thing your wife doing, cooking. She could be cleaning. She
No,
could be
no, the
supporting your
hoes and the
career
bitches not
everything.
doing that. They not
ladies and gentlemen,
But they-
we're gonna wrap this podcast up for tonight. You
gotta wrap it up.
OG into the podcast. The whole other bitch is not doing that. Point down
You
language.
said it. You said you're making a
Wait,
Point down language. Shout out my girl. Hold on, we gotta make some shout outs.
Look, we gotta make some shout
Final
outs.
regards to the night.
Final regards before the night. We gotta shout out Mirror. Thank you, Mirror. You're our first sponsor for the first episode for 2019. Mirror Drinks. We appreciate you. Thank you, Mirror. We appreciate you. We love you. Y'all go find and follow Mirror. Her name is Instagram name is Mirror Wall to Wall. I mean that's the Instagram name I believe.
Mirror Water has
she makes-
donated us some
Yeah.
El Quizzy.
Nice drinks,
Please.
really good drinks. Go support
Really good
Mirror.
drinks. Mirror, I
Y'all
need
know
mine. I
Mirror.
already paid for it.
Please.
Please, I need it. I already paid for it. I never got
You know
it.
what I mean?
So now y'all here acting like LeVar Ball with the sneakers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So y'all go
I
find
did it. I
Mirror.
never got it. I still donated to the black culture.
If y'all can't find Mirror, she dates Daniel Stover, the great guy. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go follow him. You know what I mean? And then if you follow him, you'll find her. That's how that
Shout out
works.
to everybody who came on the podcast. Peace and blessings from yours truly.
Yeah.
POV Podcast. Catch us next week. You know what it is. You know why we're here. Everybody can't come up here. This is exclusive topics only.
That's it.